Hey guys, bear with me a second. Bear with me a moment. I'm just sharing this over to the group. Um, Let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay. Oh, I got a sneeze. I feel like I got a sneeze coming. Um, um, you know, I got a text from a friend of mine that I used to work with in the insurance world when I used to work out of the uh, Memphis office, and he was telling me, he was like, "Hey, do you remember so and so?" And I'm not going to name drop, of course, but he was like, "Hey, do you remember so and so that used to work in the office there with us?" And I mean, obviously, I've been out of the that world now for about 5 years, and I still remember the guy's name. Um, you know, he was a real polite guy, young guy. Um, he was probably in his, I don't know, late 20s, maybe close to 30, something like that. Um, but he used to come into the office and he used to work with us, and he was always, kind of outgoing and friendly and stuff like that. And he was like, well, he's like, and my friend is still in that industry. And he was like, yeah, he was like, I just heard from his, I believe he said it was his sister, that he had tried to take his life. And um and and of course, when he was talking to his sister on the phone, the guy who tried to do that, my friend was talking to his sister. And and she was like, yeah, we had we she was like, we had no idea, we had um you know no hint that it was like that. She was like, I was just talking to him like yesterday. And let me know if you guys can hear me okay, because I haven't used this equipment in a while. um so I think I got everything hooked up right. I had to hook my laptop and stuff back up, but let me know if you can hear me okay. um because I the comments should be turned on. um but Let me double check and make sure I got it set to public. Pretty sure I do. um I'm sorry, why is suicide a bad thing? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, am I misunderstanding your question? Look, I'm going to tell you, as someone who has had, someone in my inner circle that's done it, and then as someone who has dealt with depression and stuff like that at moments, and had those thoughts, suicide is an extremely bad thing. I don't give a fuck how you want to sugarcoat it. Um, the people that it leaves behind, that it hurts, is insane to me. Um, and and I can't fathom doing that to someone else. But to each their own. But like, I'm not going to argue with you the merits of suicide. So you're damn sure picking the wrong person if that's what you're trying to do with your question. So yeah, I'm not the one. I'll go ahead and let you know that right now. I'm not here to debate it in that sense. I personally don't think it's ever a good thing to do, but sometimes some people are at the end of their ropes and they don't think they have any other options. Well, understand on your own time. Um, I don't ever think it. I mean, again, as someone who's had it cross my mind at times, you know, it's one of those things that I think you have to fight it. You got to. I mean, like I said, I get that, especially today, especially in this environment. And I'm not trying to be rude to you. It's just I'm not here to discuss what you think is a bad thing or a good thing. Um, I'm just I'm because I again, in this environment, especially now, you have social media, which you would think would link everyone closer together, and all it does is push everyone apart. From the social media drama, from the arguing and fighting over pretend offenses, uh, trying to claim you're offended by this and you're offended by that, and the hate that people are throwing at one another. Like, I get it. I mean, I get the psychology of it. You know, sometimes that thought process is there, that maybe it's easier to check out than it is to deal with any more of it. Because I mean, we grind our life away. Because let's just be honest about it. There's a reason the 10%, is the 10%, and the majority of the rest of the country will never be the 10%. The majority of the country are the middle class and the low income areas, and you can't get good schooling, you can't get good health care, you can't get good paying jobs, you can't provide for your home when shit goes awry. I get the psychology of it, that it's easier to check out. Um, and so I get that. I like I said, I can understand the psychology of it, but, and especially, and y'all, I'm not here to have some damn sexist argument or feminist argument or anything like that. My conversation right now are to men, because the men are the majority of the people that are committing suicide. Men are the majority of the people that have to live in solitude and keep their mouth shut, because if we talk about it, the majority of spouses shit on you or use it against you later. So men keep their mouth shut, which means they bottle up more shit. And and like his sister was saying, that she just talked to him, I believe he said it was like yesterday or the day before, and he was happy, and he sounded happy, and they were talking about just normal everyday conversations that you might have with your siblings, and then that happened. So, I mean, for me personally, I I think whether no one else is saying it to you, your value here is worth being here. I get that, especially right now, society as a whole is beating men down. We're looked down on. We're treated shitty. And I'm gonna tell you right now, don't jump in here with this woe is me bullshit. Oh, it happens to you too. I don't want to hear the shit right now. Because right now, men of all types are targeted across the board, whether it's from social media to political propaganda to every damn thing else. Men are treated like pieces of shit. And the only value we have is what we can provide. You can sit and call that bullshit all you want, and you're delusional. Men are treated according to what they provide. The minute they can't provide shit, they aren't worth shit. That's how we're treated. Because while there are men out there that are pieces of royal trash roaming this planet that I think ought to be strung up, period, there's a lot of those types of men that don't know how to treat people, men that don't know how to be a good father, men that don't know how to be a good husband or friend, or etc. Trust me, I understand it. When I worked in the insurance world, I saw all types of men in homes, from the good ones to the shitty ones. But there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good men out there that go to work every day, work in this stupid ass heat, while some of you sit in your cushiony little air conditioners, including myself at this point in my career. I get to sit in my air conditioner while there's guys out here, working in 110-degree temperatures, keeping our infrastructure going. This whole damn man-hating, harassing, I don't need a man, I'm a boss bitch, stupid ass lingo is ridiculous. And if you're a female and you use that type of lingo, that you don't need a man and you're a boss bitch and all that, you're an idiot. I don't give a shit if you get pissed. Unfriend me, block me, I don't give a shit. That's the dumbest damn thing. We need one another. But my favorites are the ones that love to scream they don't need a man, but yet they got OnlyFans and all this other shit that kind of depends on men for them to have their livelihood. They need men every damn day because it's the majority are men that's doing all the damn hard ass jobs, the dangerous ass jobs, etc., going home to people that 9 times out of 10 don't give them a second fucking thought. Barely get a hi walking through the door, or barely get a hug, or barely get an I love you. And again, I'm not trying to make this sound like it's a woe is man speech, but there's a reason that men can't talk about the shit that's bothering them. There's a reason that the majority of suicide is men. Exactly. Oh, trust me, I've heard that conversation too. When I worked in the casino world in beverage and I was around 90% females, I've heard those exact same damn comments where I've heard a damn cocktail waitress talk about her husband lost his damn job, that he got laid off. They eliminated his position. And the words out of the other girl's mouth was, "Oh, okay, what do you plan to do? Are you gonna kick him out, or what's going on?" I was like, holy shit. I mean, I've heard stories of women who walked out the door because their man got cancer. And don't get me wrong, I understand there's men that do it too. I'm not trying to turn this into one versus the other, but regardless of how you want to look at it, there's no support groups for men. There's no 800 numbers for men. There's no, there's no, any type of, for the most part, there's not much assistance for men at all. I mean, it happens, Amy. It happens. It's like I said, we're judged by what we can provide. I mean, my God, we've seen the proof. I mean, look at the damn TV shows that have been out there where you got gorgeous ass women who don't bring shit to the table other than their looks, chasing Flavor Flav on this TV show. I mean, dude, are you seriously turning this conversation into you, like about you directly? The first statement out of your question in this damn chat was, why do I think suicide is a bad thing? Dude, could you just chill for a moment? Would that be possible? Every time, goddamn, you see why nobody talks about shit? Because when you try to talk about it, someone wants to turn it into some kind of issue. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking what your sentence was the wrong way. I don't know. And right now, I truly don't give a fuck. I'm not here to have a debate about it. I'm not here to discuss what people should or shouldn't do in the sense of me telling them what to do. I'm just giving my opinion on how I think it's shitty that we can. If you want to talk about this topic, feel free to talk. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm not going to debate why suicide is a bad thing. It's a bad thing because you just won the lottery being on this planet. And that you have people around you that, whether you think it or not, do give a shit. Maybe not lots. Maybe it's only one or two, but there's people that care. I'm not going to debate why it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, we can't even stay on like fucking topic here. But that's the thing, Carlin. Like, that's the thing. People love to claim, oh, if he had just reached out, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. The majority of people don't want you to reach out. Come the fuck on. Most people don't even answer their phones when you call them. That could be the very damn phone call that somebody's doing right at that moment to reach out, and some of you won't even fucking answer the phone. Majority of people won't even answer their phone when someone they know calls. I mean, I'm not going to fucking lie about it. There's been times where my head was all fucked up, and I pick up the phone and try to call someone They didn't answer. And that's the way the majority of it is. People want to say, oh, you got, man, something's wrong. You call me. You call me. You call me. Really? What am I supposed to do? Leave you a fucking voicemail? And the sad thing is, because obviously, you know, at the heat of the moment, maybe someone can't answer your phone call. They could be at work or something. I get that. But the sad thing is, and that's what I was just getting to, Sean. The sad thing is they don't call back. Oh yeah, I mean, everybody's busy. That's what I was just getting to. I mean, like I said, the heat of the moment, someone's having that moment. Yeah, that somebody they're trying to call, they could be busy. They could be at work. You know, it could be late at night. You know, maybe they're in bed. There's always reasons why that could happen. But let's just be honest about it. Let's be honest. Most people don't answer their phones. If they need talk, they'll text. Yep. But you guys have got to understand. Call, like, send a text, you know, if it's that heat of the moment and you don't know what to do and you try to call a friend or you try to call a family member and they don't answer, don't stop there. If you're at that moment to where you're seriously thinking about that, text that fucking number. Tell them, you know, well, I mean, like I said, that's the other sad thing about it. You know, there's people walking this planet that all their chickens are in a row. Their life is going great. You know, maybe they got a great relationship. Maybe they got a great career path they're doing, and everything's going great. But the truth of the damn matter is the majority of this damn country is not in that boat. That all that shit you see on Facebook where everybody's showing you how pretty their side of the lawn is most of the time bullshit and fake. But you're worth it, you know, like that kid. I mean, I call him a kid, he's in his 30s, but you know, the fact that happened, you know, like I said, I worked with the kid for, you know, 3 or 4 years in the Memphis office, and he was always real polite and he was always friendly, and you know, and that's true. I mean, especially these days. I mean, you got social media adding to your drama and your depression. You have life in general adding to it. You know, you have, you know, whether it's work adding to it or whether it's you know, relationship stuff adding to it. Then you add on top of it all the unhealthy food and everything else we eat that adds to it. You know, and but again, like I said, you know, people love to talk that, oh, reach out. When I got time to listen. Reach out when I got time. Reach out when I got time. Yeah, Robin Williams, there's you a good example. You know? But I mean, look, it's like I said, everyone's dealing with shit in their own way and everybody's dealing with stuff, but you know, for, like I said, for the guys that are listening, man, talk to somebody. You know, text message. You know, I believe the you know, the suicide hotline number is what's that number? 9, what is it? 988. Is that it? 9988. What's that damn number? I had it memorized for a long time because we used it with work. Is it 988? Because, you know, next month is Suicide Awareness Month. Yeah, 988. Thank you, Shelby. Thank you, Sean. They do, Sean. But you know what? Shit's easier for some people than it is for others. I'm sorry, I'm a big believer. Like, I know that I'm a chubby fuck, and I'm a chubby guy because of the bad shit I eat, and I don't go to the gym enough and things like that. I like, there are certain things I think that you have to take responsibility for, but there's also a stigma in this country when it comes to men that we're not allowed to talk about what's bothering us. We're not allowed to share our emotions. And like I said, and again, Sean, like I love you, brother, but it's also one of those things when your life is a little bit ahead of others, and even though you work for that, because my life's ahead of some people. I work my ass off for what I have and what I can do and things like that. And even I still have to deal with shit. And so it's really easy for me where I might be ahead of some people financially, and I get to work in my own career path that I love, and I get to deal with fans and stuff that I love. It's really easy for me to sit back and go, oh, you need to get control of your shit. No, oh, you got depression, you need to get in the gym, you need to work out, you need to eat better. Like, it's really easy for me. See, again, that's another one of those things. If I do that, I'm not listening to someone that if they did need to talk, you know. And they do. There are certain things people need to take responsibility for themselves. But again, I'm not here to talk about what people need to do in that sense. I'm here to just say that your life fucking matters, and that checking out isn't always, or in my opinion, never the right way to do it. Like I said, it's real easy when you're walking easy street to tell other people who are dealing with shitty jobs or dealing with financial situations they're in or health situations they're in that bringing them down. And then, like I said, especially in the men aspect of it, you also got, people, you got society beating them down in general. Yeah, everybody needs help. I don't know why I don't know how, like, people in general got to this idea that I did this all myself. I don't give a shit how wealthy you are or how famous you are or whatever the case may be. Nobody walks this planet doing every damn thing by themselves. Somebody helped you. Someone gave you a hand. Someone supported you. Even in the artist industry, even in the comic industry. And stuff like that. Fans are making you who you are. When you're driving around in a fancy car, or you're living in a big house, or you're traveling the world, you got people that put you there. I don't know why we got to that point to where it turned into a me world. Well, I'll do without before I ask for handouts or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of people in this country who are in the boats they're in, and it's not because they're not a hard worker or they're not a go-getter. I know what Sean's talking about, and I agree with Sean on some of that stuff. But like I said, there are people in this country that have to, that constantly feel like they're alone, that constantly feel like they're being, looked down upon and things like that, because again, I worked in a career where I sat with every damn type of income out there, from $1 million damn homes with, 400, 500K incomes per year, all the way down to the guy who was living on fixed income, or the lady that was living on fixed income. I've sat with every damn spectrum. I've sat and listened to families who work 2 jobs, as a single parent, or even sometimes double parents working to where they can pay for health care, for their kid and stuff like that, that maybe has health issues, or a husband who works 2 jobs because his wife, has medical issues, or vice versa. So, there's all types of people, and the majority, I think a lot of people lose sight of the majority of people in this country are living paycheck to paycheck, while sometimes it's their own damn fault because they spend money on shit they shouldn't. I've seen that too. But I've also seen those families who could barely put food on their damn table but made just enough money they couldn't get no help from nobody. And then, like I said, now you got a society, when it comes to the men aspect of it, you have a society that is beating down men, that we still have this damn bullshit stigma that men needs to suck it up, wipe away the tears, and do what you got to do. Man up, you know? Yeah, I've known them. Like I said, man, I've sat with families where I've known the guy or the lady, you know, whatever the case may be, is doing everything they can to put food on the table and barely getting by. Because, like I said, you know, you make just enough money that you can't get any type of help. So you know, you can't get none of that, you know, and then you know, but they don't make enough money to have health insurance, you know, proper health insurance, because their job doesn't provide it or something like that. Because newsflash for a lot of you, most jobs don't provide health care. And if you make just enough money, you can't get any type of assistance for that type of thing. But yet you don't make enough money to pay for it on your own. So, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, we got to stop doing it, because apparently that young guy didn't have anybody he could talk to, or felt that way. What's not help? Guys, do me a favor. If you want to talk about what we're talking about, that's fine. But please don't start no back and forth shit in the comments about what one person's opinion is to the other. Everybody's allowed to have their thoughts. Everybody's allowed to have their opinions. I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm not really reading chat because I'm just trying to talk to you guys. But you know, this isn't a debate thing. It isn't about who should be doing what, and who needs to go to the gym more, and who needs to tighten this bootstrap to their cousin's bootstrap, or whatever the hell else we're talking about. The point of it is, you know, what I'm trying to say, and maybe I'm not saying it right, or I don't know, but my point is checking out is not an option in my mind. You know, just try to be there more for your friends. Because the sad thing is we don't even really talk to the people we grew up with. I mean, and I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of not, you know, sending a message to one of you guys and saying, hey, you know, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? I'm so guilty of it. I'm so tied up with everything I got going, I don't think about it. And of course, when I'm dealing with my own shit, I know all of you are doing your own thing and dealing with your own thing, and I don't say nothing. It's sad that as a culture that we have trained our men that we can't be emotional. We can't talk. We can't share our doubts. We can't share our fears. We can't share our shortcomings. It's insane. And it's been, that's from, you know, that's been inbred forever. I mean, you know, when we try to talk about those things with a partner, we risk being made fun of, or we risk having it thrown back up in our, which is actually the most common thing. We risk it being thrown back up in our face later as ammunition. But then we can't even talk to our guy friends about it, because there's that stigma that they'll think less of you. Oh, that's damn sure true, Sean. But it happens more than not. See, that's the bad thing about it is, you know, again, you know, you might be lucky. You might have that one unicorn, you know, that was, you know, prancing through the woods, that you know, riding the magic unicorn with the lucky leprechaun on her back, and you landed that one. But that's not the norm. It's nowhere near the norm. So Yep, that's sure true, Sean. It's sad, man. It's evil, man. It's evil when you take someone's biggest fears and and their insecurities and their doubts, and you turn it against someone. That's some pure evil ass shit. Like, I get being pissed off, I get being angry at someone, I get talking shit at someone, like, oh, fuck you, and oh, you suck, and you're a piece of crap, or like, I can wrap my head around that stuff. But I can't wrap my head around when someone tells you their deepest fears and their insecurities and that stuff, and then you turn it as a weapon. That is, wow. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't give a shit how cushiony your life is. You're always going to have moments where you might think it's better to check out. And I know a lot of people have hard lives, and you may be thinking that same thing, but just, man, don't do it. No, that's 100% true, Sean. We're never taught that. Men have never been taught ever that, even though now, you got people walking around saying, no, 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 it's okay. Men can talk about their feelings now. No, they can't. I mean, they really can't. Society still shits on them. And again, I'm not trying to talk to this woe is man shit. But I don't know how, as a guy, I don't know how to change it. Yeah, that's the sad thing about it, because you really don't get into the emotional intelligence side of growing until you're in that world where you have to do it, and then you're so set in your ways, it's hard to do it. Like I was told as a kid, you don't talk about your feelings, you don't share your feelings, you don't cry, I was told that as a kid. We all were. Whether it be our buddies, or whether it be uncles, or whether it be our fathers, or whatever the case may be, and then now you get into these complex relationships, and you don't know how to deal with any of it. I mean, that's why the suicide rate among men is so high. That's why there's so many men living on the streets and things like that. Like I said, there is part of that. You have to take control of your own self, and that's the part I do believe in that. Like, you can't just check out. You can't. You got to take control. To at least to the point to where you force yourself to call that 988 number, or go on their website and talk to someone, or text. Like, if you don't even want to talk to anyone, you can text that 988 number and talk to someone that way. Like, if you don't even want to be vocal. Rock bottom is hard. There's no doubt. It's hard. It's hard if you're ever in that situation where you may not know if you got rent money, or you're in that situation where you're extremely sick, but you don't have the money to go to the doctor, or you're in that boat, and then that's just yourself. Now you flip it, and if it's someone you care about, it's still, oh yeah, I'm a big believer in the suck it up, because there's a lot of people out there that want to cry their life is so damn hard, and they got one cushiony ass life, and that's where the suck it up comes in for me. Yeah, exactly, Sean. I mean, it's like, but that's one of those things that's been bred forever. I mean, shit, that's probably been bred all the way back to the caveman days. A kid fell down, hurt his knee, and daddy slapped him across the back of his head, said, "Shut up crying," in whatever, grunting language they did. You got to realize something when it's not a case, because I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather. I was raised old school, probably even more old school than some of you guys who may have been raised by your parents. So I was in a generation even a bit farther back. Now, my grandfather never had any of that, shut up or I'll give you something to cry about bullshit, or that, things like that. But it's just, there's always still that thing like, okay, you be strong for mom, or you be strong, like when dad would leave, or grandpa had to go to work. Okay, now you're the man of the house. You be strong. You take care of mom. You take care of grandma, whatever the case may be. So you always have that, even from a small age, even though at a small age, they're kind of joking, but you're a kid. You're a kid, and here you are, you have the person you look up to, whether it's your dad, your grandfather, whatever the case may be, and they're going, okay, son, I gotta go. You're the man of the house. You be strong. You keep everybody safe. They're saying it as just even in that scenario, it's not someone being harsh. Now, some people are being harsh with it. Suck it up. You're the man. Men don't cry. Yada yada yada. But you have that, and and then that's exactly right, Sean. The men were teaching the boys how to be men, and don't get me wrong, from an extent, to a degree, you can't sit around being a Crimea River boy all the time, because a Crimea River boy turns into a Crimea River man that can't do shit. I mean, again, so it's like a real narrow road that should have been handled and taught, that wasn't. It was just always one way, because because whether you want to admit to it or not, that's what men were taught. You protect everyone else. You're the man of the house. You take care of what's going on. You make sure your sisters are safe. You make sure your mother's safe, etc., etc., etc. Well, when you're being told that shit, while some of it's a bit of teasing, in a good sense, teasing, like, hey, you be strong, like I go, like that's good, like that's okay. But then there's also that sense where it is being a serious thing, because you are taught you're the one that has to defend. You're the one that has to protect. You're the one that has to do that. Because at the end of the damn day, that's the case. Whether y'all want to sugarcoat that shit, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I can protect myself. That's fine. You go, you rock it. But the point is, that's our job. Whether you want it or not, whether you think it makes sense or not, our job is to provide and protect. That's our value. Period. If somebody comes in the house in the middle of the fucking night, it is our job to encounter that piece of shit. If we're out in public and somebody starts trying to climb up on you, it's our job. I'm not saying you can't do it. Like, you don't have the power as a woman to do it. That's not what we mean. But it is our fucking job to go down first. Period. And that's how we were taught. And that's how that part of it should be. But the part that never got taught to us, while we were being told how to be, strong, and we were being told how to protect and things like that, taught how to protect, we were not taught how to deal with our emotions, that's true. We are fixers. I'm the same way with my daughters. When they got a problem, I want to fix it. And that's not because I don't think they can fix it. My daughters are badass. All four of them. They've been raised strong by myself, their mom, and their stepdad. They have strong morals. They have strong principles. They have strong work ethics, and they don't tolerate no bullshit from nobody. They are strong. I 100% think my daughters can handle themselves in most cases, but that ain't going to happen. I will handle that shit one way or the other before they ever have to, whether it's fixing something or dealing with something. And it ain't because I think they can't do it. That's my job, is to protect those around me. But we were never taught how to talk about our emotions, though. We were never taught how to talk about our feelings. And then when we do, in most cases, sound like somebody just kicked the door. or maybe somebody was leaving one of the. But anyway, we're you know, and in most cases it gets weaponized against us, you know. But I'm telling you guys this, please. I don't give a shit how hard your life is, or how hard you think it is, or how how unworthy it is. I'm telling you, you're worthy. You need to be here. Call the 988 number, text it, go on the website, something. For the love of God, talk to somebody. I get that you may not can talk to your friends. I get that you probably can't talk to your spouse, especially about that topic. Because let's be honest, ladies, in most cases, when guys go to women and say, "Hey, I'm about to have a breakdown. This is what's going on. I'm on my edge of my seat here," her ass is looking for a way to get out the door. Let's just be honest about it. I'm sorry. And of course, that's not all women by any means, but it's a lot. I've personally seen that shit happen when I worked in the insurance world. So, husband have, come out talking about he was, contemplating suicide and stuff like that. And then his woman leaves him a fucking week later, a month later. Let's just be honest. It is what it is. The minute you as a man fail to have something to provide, or fail to be, however you want to look at it, position, to people want to bounce. And I mean, I have no clue how to change that. I'm guilty of being one of those people that don't touch base with nobody. I mean, there's been moments there's been moments where there's been moments where I've sat and wondered if it would be easier, but I can't. And then of course, because so you have those moments where you think that, but luckily, knock on wood, you also have that flip side that goes, wait a minute, I got 4 daughters that depend on me. I can't afford to check out, but not everybody has that. Maybe not everybody has, someone that depends on them, or maybe someone, maybe they feel like they don't, nobody gives a shit about them, even the ones that might depend on them. Because, I mean, let's be honest, we do get to that degree where, I was guilty of it. I made those mistakes too when my mom and my dad were both alive, especially being raised by my grandparents, and it wasn't that because my mom and them weren't in the picture, or there was something wrong with them. It's just for some reason I attached to my grandmother since I was like 3, and I grew up living with my grandparents, But there was times that, weeks would go by and I wouldn't call my parents to see how they're doing, or my real life friends that I grew up with, I might talk to them once a year. So, and it's not because I'm trying to avoid anybody or anything like that. It's just time goes so fast now. Especially if you're busy as we are, running your own business and you're traveling and you're doing this and that. I mean, a lot of us work that run of our own business, no matter what type of business it is, we work lots of hours. So, that runs the day through. Next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock at night. Well, shit, damn it. It's too late to call anybody right now or text. So I'll yell at them tomorrow. And then tomorrow turns into the next day and the next week and the next month. And I'm 100% guilty of it. Even these moments where I've had these conversations with you guys, I still can't seem to keep up with that. I can set and reach out to retailers when I need to, and meet deadlines when I need to, and get commissions done in a timely manner, most of the time faster than most, and get in and out for travel and things like that without missing a beat. But yet, when it comes to me checking in on a family member or checking in on, a friend, I'm so guilty of it. But 988's the number. And like I said, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off in the chat, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings in the chat. It's just I want to talk about this because it's gotten ridiculous. It's ridiculous for the amount of men that are taking their life. It's ridiculous for the amount of men that are only treated according to what they provide. And outside of that, they have zero damn worth. Like Chris Rock said, baby, women, children, and animals, or women, children, and dogs, whatever he said, as far as like loved unconditionally. It's bullshit. And it's bullshit that we can't talk about it. It's bullshit that if we do talk about it, we are viewed differently. Oh, he's unstable. Oh shit, you better separate yourself from. That's what their friends will say. Of course, I'm a big believer. You know, if you whatever's going on in your home should stay in your home. Yeah, unless it's violent, unless it's bad. But you know, any arguments or any, you know, insecurities or anything like that that happens in your home should stay in your damn home. You shouldn't be running and telling your friends, you know, that your spouse did this or did that. Again, unless it's something violent. Shit, my grandparents, you wouldn't even known they were fighting if you pulled up in their front lawn. They could have been in a damn heated ass argument and you pull up, that shit's done over. And they didn't run to their girlfriends or their boyfriend buddies and talk about their marital problems. You want to talk about that shit, go find a priest or go find something else. Keep that shit to yourself. Especially you ladies. I'm going to let you ladies in on a little secret that I learned working at the casinos. Y'all better keep all that shit about your husband, both good and bad, to yourself. Because I promise you, there's at least one of your female friends that will creep in your house in a heartbeat. And so y'all better be men too. There's men that'll do it too. But I'm just saying, when I worked in that casino world, holy shit, some of the stuff I heard behind closed doors. Yeah, exactly. Unless it's something violent, then hell yeah, I'll go get some help. Talk to some damn body. But if you just arguing with your damn spouse, keep that shit to yourself. Because they gonna never ever tell single people your marital problems, if it's just regular shit. Never take advice from single people and never take advice from broke people. Sorry, that's just true. But yeah, just like I said, I get it, man. Like I understand the psychology of it. I get it's rough right now. It's rough. I totally understand it, but I'm telling you, don't do it, man. If you're ever thinking about it, please call the 988 number, text the 988 number, something, because, you trying to call a friend, they may not can answer. They could be at work. They could be asleep. It could be something, but that damn number is 24/7, next month is suicide aware. I mean, that in itself is insane that we have a suicide awareness month. I mean, it's a good thing, but I'm just saying it's an insane thing. That shit is so bad. Just what? Just share it all on Facebook. There's a writer's strike. I have no clue what the fuck that has to do with what we're talking about, Carlin. No clue what that's got to do with any damn thing. But well, keeping y'all on damn topic is hard sometimes. Jesus Christ on a cracker. Man, I hate to hear that about that guy. Yeah, wrong thread like a motherfucker. The sad thing is, like my daughter Shelby, she works with a lot of kids that are dealing with some shit. And she works over here at Region 8, and they deal with troubled teens and adolescents and stuff like that. And I mean, it was just yesterday, yesterday or the day before, one of her or one of the Region 8's kids that the workers go out and talk to, she took her life. 5th grade. 5th grade. And that wasn't her first attempt. Apparently, her parents went on vacation the other day, and she didn't want to go. She wanted to stay at home with her big sister. So they let her stay at home with her big sister, and she took her life. 5th grade. 5th grade. And she took her life. That just happened here locally, like yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. I have no clue, Carlin. I'm not putting that tattoo on my body, but I'm not putting that tattoo on my body because, in my personal opinion, most of the time when somebody's doing that, and this isn't everyone, I think it's just one of those things they're just doing it. Say, oh, look at me. I'm not saying that's all people, but I'm just saying sharing that damn that 988 number is a hell of a lot more important than someone sharing their tattoo about this topic or the other. I mean, I get what you're asking, but I'm just saying I think it's better to share the number than share a photo of a tattoo. Yeah, Shelby called me and told me that, and I was like, holy shit. 5th grade, dude. Yo, man, please, if you got kids, I don't give a shit how young they are. If you got kids, man, please make sure you're engaging them, talking to them. Yeah, that's what I was just transitioning into. Yeah, it's about 11 years old. Yeah, 11 or 11, 10, 11, something like that. It's sad. Like I said, because you have everything right now that's affecting, especially these young kids. You got social media affecting them. You got their classmates that are little shits and bullies that are affecting them. And it ain't like it when I was a kid. If you got bullied as a kid when I was a kid, hell, at least when you left the school, the bullying stopped. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, when you left, they went their way, you went their way. Even at school, they might bully you in the hallway here or there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying bullying is okay. I can't stand the concept of bullying, whether you're a kid or an adult. But my point is you may have been exposed to it in the hallway for a little bit, or you may have been exposed in it, right after school for a little bit. But they go their way, you go your way, and so it was a little easier to deal with. And I'm speaking as someone who was bullied in elementary school and junior high until I finally hit my growth spurt, and that shit stopped real quick. But now kids get bullied the entire time they're at school, and the minute they leave, they're bullied. So, because of social media and things like that. I mean, that little girl should have been playing video games and or playing with her friends, or playing with dolls, or playing with, toys, whatever the case may be. She shouldn't have been sitting somewhere contemplating suicide. That's insane. And then you got, again, we talk about how food affects you. And I'm not talking about somebody you're just sitting around eating ho-hos all day. I mean, all the food is bad for the most part. And when if you're growing up in a household that can't afford to buy healthy, and before anybody says some shit about that, I'm telling you right now, as someone who grew up dirt ass poor, you can't afford healthy. So before someone chimes in, oh, you can choose to buy it. No, the fuck you can't. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you didn't grow up that way. Because there was no eating healthy. And it's the same damn way now. I mean, I just left a place and where I went and bought healthy dishes, and I bought 2 items and spent $35 on 2 little healthy meals. You know, so the shit's not cheap, and by any means. But my point is like the food, the food is messing with people. Social media is messing with people. Yeah, then you also have this whole bullshit with the identity politics and shit like that are confusing the shit out of kids, and you got people barking at kids, and you need to think this way and you need to think that way. And I'm like, first off, I'm going to say this. I don't give a shit who it pisses off. If you're a teacher in anywhere from preschool to 12th grade, and your students knows your political views, your religious views, or your sexual preferences, you have failed as a teacher, because none of that shit is relevant in the classroom in those grades. You can talk that shit in college, and even then, I don't think you should be feeding your opinions into kids in college. You should be teaching whatever the hell it is you're supposed to be teaching. Kids should not be trying to figure out anything right now but how to fucking play. They can figure out all this other shit later. But it's I know I'm going around and around here, and I apologize, but I can't seem to wrap my head around how the hell, there you go. I can't blame you on that one. Especially when I go to whispering in your ear, it's over. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now. Have a good night, Eric. You know what I've been thinking about doing here lately? And it's going to be hard to do because you can't get most people to be dependable. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They got their own shit going on. I don't mean dependable in the sense like they're irresponsible. I mean, it's hard to get people to agree to a time frame and agree to a day and agree to do something over and over and over, because everybody's got their own shit going on, including myself. But you know what I was talking to a friend of mine about the other day, and I was thinking about doing, because we can sit here and we can do these little moments where we hear something that happened, and then we do a reaction video where we're bothered with it, that it's on our mind at that moment. But then tomorrow we'll be right back to the grind, right back to the same old shit, our head buried in work. You know what I was thinking about doing, and I wish I could get some people that would be willing to do it and consistent to a degree. I wouldn't mind doing a podcast where we have like 4 or 5 people on every show, and it can rotate people, but I would like to have at least one other person that would be willing to be there every single time. So we have the same 2 hosts that could commit, and then we kind of rotate people through as they want to, where we just sit around and we talk about shit that we deal with as men. Because again, there's not really any podcasts out there like that. Now there's women podcasts where they're talking about their life and they're talking about their stuff and they're talking about their issues. There's groups where they go meet uptown or they hang out at one of their friends' houses and they talk about their, marital issues, or they talk about their, what's bothering them with work and things like that. We don't have shit. Y'all think I'm joking about that. Like I can't, like we don't. All right, Sean. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Tim, I appreciate that. I think it would be useful because we could share out, we could let people know they're not the only ones dealing with depression. There, yeah, there is. Now on YouTube, there are some there, but it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm searching the wrong shit. I just know when I look, I'll see a few, but it's not enough. it's nowhere near enough. And a lot of times, their content that I see them talking about is a lot of times is kind of like men, men need to do this and need to do this and need to do this, but then there's like no conversation of how, I guess, is what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm getting. Like, because even with some of the women stuff, it's just man bashing, you know, man hating bullshit with a little bit of, actual useful stuff. And that's kind of what I see sometimes on some of these men podcasts. That's why I say there's not many, because most of the ones I do see, it tends to be more toxic instead of trying to talk about, I don't even know how to word it. It's so foreign to even myself that I can't even really figure out how to word it. But it needs to be where we talk about the kind of shit we deal with, and I'm not talking about from a political shit, because again, when I see those podcasts now, and don't get me wrong, that is part of it. There's this whole agenda that man must go away, shit. And that's what they kind of talk against. And I get that. But I would like to see it where it's more, we talk about, this is the shit I had to deal with today. These are the emotions that went through me today, and and how to process it, and how it's okay to share with one another without it being one of those things where you're made to feel like, you're being a candy ass, you need to tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't know how to word it, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. They hit those hot topics to get the clicks and likes. I don't give a shit about clicks or likes. I mean, obviously, I don't give a shit about any of that because I still haven't learned how to kiss ass in the comic industry, And I'm not saying everybody kisses ass, but you get what I'm talking about. You got to be able to, play ball a little bit. And I still haven't figured out how to do that one yet. No filter. And it's not because I'm better than anybody. It's just I have no filter. So I don't give a shit about the likes. I don't give a shit about any of that. I just want a place where we can talk about the shit to where maybe people see that it is okay to share. Now, is there going to be moments where you share that it's going to bite you in the ass? Oh, hell yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, I will. Sean, I'll reach out to you because Sean has a different perspective than what my perspective is going to be. We're similar on a lot of it, but Sean also has that perspective of grinding through everything and and what you should do next, kind of mentality, or at least that's the way it sounds to me sometimes. What you can do to help make things better for yourself. Whether it's going to the gym more as a man, or whether it's staying busy, because that's another thing too. I think that's one of the other things that's helped me a lot is I stay super busy. I mean, other than these moments where I'm talking to you guys, most of the time, if I'm not driving somewhere for work, I'm working. You know what I'm saying? And so I distract myself a lot because, this type of industry is a very lonely industry in general. A lot of lonely travel. I mean, unless you're lucky enough that you're, with someone that can travel with you, but it's a lot of lonely hotels, a lot of lonely travel and driving with nothing but your thoughts, and a lot of moments just sitting here in your home working, and so I try to stay as busy as I can because that whole idle hands shit, I believe, is true. I think a lot of issues that men do have, and I think, and I'm sure Sean might agree with me on this one, about where you can choose to not let it own you, and move forward. And that's staying busy. When you aren't busy, your mind will screw with you big time. Oh, I'm big on the harden your ass up, because there is too much softness running around in general right now. But like I said, it depends on the subject material. Because these people crying this river about my life is so hard, while they're playing on their $1,000 phone and they're sitting in their air conditioned house with food on the table, food in the refrigerator, clothes on their back, and they got 500 channels on their damn cable thing. I'm not listening to no woe is me bullshit, so there are some things where I got to go, hold the fuck up. No, shut up. That's not it. But there are, again, setting with so many families that I've sat with, there's a lot of people out there. That's not that's not what's going on, and they are, hardened up, they're out there grinding the hours and stuff. It's just, they can't get ahead. Sometimes that's just the case, because not everybody's going to fit into the 6-figure incomes, and not everybody's going to fit into the, $70,000 incomes, et cetera, et cetera. So that is one of those. See, that's a good example though. So like that topic, talking about staying busy, that you can't sit around and twiddle your thumbs for, 50% of your day. It's going to mess with your head, because we as men, we were designed to stay busy. I mean, that's from original days to now. You were designed to stay busy. You were designed to provide. You were designed to constantly be going, because, back then in all those centuries, your ass was fighting for food, and you were constantly hunting for food. And so, that's bred into your DNA. And so I definitely believe that you sitting around being, unbusy is a dangerous game to play, especially these days, because then you get caught up in social media, you get caught up in arguing with some dipshit on social media, or you get caught in that scenario that I'm sure all of us have been guilty of, looking at other people's Facebooks, wishing your life was as good as what theirs appeared to be. And I'm sure we've all been guilty of that at one point or another, or being upset because that person's getting more likes on their post than what you got, or, more comments than what you got. So, I mean, and that's one of the reasons I don't get on Facebook a lot, is because I don't want to get caught up in that. And I've had moments where I've looked and went, what the fuck? How the hell is that dude getting attention when he's done 2 covers and they were mediocre, and then I'm sitting over here with 70 plus under my damn belt? So I've been guilty of that. And it's not that person's fault by any means. And it doesn't make that person better than me. But that insecurity little asshole in the back of your head will start messing with you. Oh, you see that? You see that? You see that? That guy's getting a lot more likes than you got on your shit. And he ain't done nowhere near the work you done. He ain't sacrificed nowhere near the hours you have. That little shithead will mess with you, and it'll do the same thing just in general. Oh, you see Betty Sue over there? Look at all those pretty vacation pictures she's posting. Her husband's making enough money. Her husband can take them on all those trips. What's your husband doing for you? So that shit will mess with you. It will mess with you. But so, like I said, so you gotta stay away from that. I try not to concern myself with what other people are doing, what covers they're getting, what shows they're going to. I try to stay away from all of it. I'm proud for them. I'm happy for them. More power to them. But I don't want to be involved in it, because I don't want that little shithead, to start whispering in my ear. And he will in a heartbeat. Because it doesn't matter why somebody did this or why somebody did that. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't matter how somebody voted. That ain't got shit to do with you. In the sense of like you holding a grudge. No matter how somebody prays, that ain't got shit to do with you. How someone else draws their stuff has nothing to do with you. How some other retailer sells their stuff has nothing to do with you. How someone else lives their life has nothing to do with you. Don't try to compare yourself to other people. especially artists out there. I know it's a hard one, but don't compare yourself to other people. Don't do it. You don't understand their situation. You don't know what they've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like they might be hot for that moment, and then that's going to fade away. You'll be hot, and then that'll fade away. Same thing happens across the board. 1 minute you're on top, next minute you're not. It just is what it is. But don't let it own you. Insecurity is a terrible thing, and it will mess you up if you let it win. You know. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that, you know. Yeah, it's always fake ass grass. That's why the grass looks better. It's fake ass grass. That's exactly why. But you know. But no matter what, and we're going to end this because I don't want to just keep going around the tree with it. But you know, if you're having problems and you can't reach out to anybody you know, or you're not comfortable doing it, please, for the love of God, dial the 988 number, text it, go to the website. Especially if you're a guy, because you guys are the ones that are dealing with it the most. We are definitely dealing with it more than anyone else. Call that number and talk to somebody. You know, like I said, it's anonymous, I believe, in most cases, if you choose it to be. You know, and like I said, they got 3 ways you can talk to them: phone call, text message, or even go to their website. But it's 988. Don't check out. Because I promise you, you may think it, but you mean something to somebody. You know, they may not show it every day. They may not be there all the time, but I promise you, you mean something to somebody. And, you know, you already won the lottery by being here. You know what? I mean, you know, the odds are astronomical for you to even be born, you know, and then make it to adulthood and so on. I mean, you're worth being here. You got a story to tell. You just may not have figured out what that is yet. You got a part to play in something. So just keep that in mind. You know, you're always going to have those moments where you don't want to be here anymore. You're going to have those moments where the world feels like it's just absolutely crushing you and nobody around you gives a shit. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have those moments at some point in your life, but don't check out. You know, call the number, talk to somebody on there, get some help in some way. And I, you know, and I'll talk to, you know, here soon, I'll talk to Sean and we'll see about maybe setting up a day, an evening where we can go live for an hour or two. And it's not, you know, I don't want it to be a show, like I mentioned, where we're bashing political views or we're bashing the man hate world kind of shit. Like I want to talk about just the shit we deal with, the shit that might be going through our heads that day, so people understand that they are not alone, and that you know, that there's other people that see things and view things maybe the way they do, and you know, maybe it'll help somebody. I don't know, but I mean, it couldn't hurt, you know, right? So, but anyway, I'm gonna get off here, guys. Like I said, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you chatting. Again, my intention, if I hurt anybody's feelings, I didn't mean to. If I come off kind of stern on certain things, it's just because I didn't want the conversation to be getting sidetracked. I want to stay on point. Yep, for sure, Brian. And like Brian, that, you know, if there's a moment you need to talk, you dial that damn 988 number and talk to somebody. Because like I said, I know you're going through some things. A lot of people are going through some things. You know, like I said, don't give up. Everything is worth fighting for. That's for damn sure. So make sure you guys, if you got to talk, you call that 988, you text it, whatever the case may be. You try to reach out to them, and because like I said, they got more experience with it. You know, I wouldn't know what to tell anybody over a phone or a text or anything. I don't know what to say. So, you know, talk to those people, because the people that work those numbers, that's what they do. And that's what they're there for. And they know more about how to help you out or get you in touch with people that can help you out, etc. So anyway, you guys have a great night. Like I said, remember, dial the number if you need it. You're absolutely worth being here. So, just keep that in mind. But anyway, I'll chat with you guys later. Have a good night.